Welcome to the Paysafe podcast. I'm Crystal Wright, VP of PR, and my guest today is Rory Howard, who is our General Manager of European iGaming. Welcome, Rory.
Thanks, Crystal. I guess we should say buenos dias, right?
Yes, buenos dias. And you know why we should say that, folks? You might not know this, but we are in a room with a big global map. That's because we are talking to you from Barcelona, Spain. I think, Rory, point it out on the map for us here. Somewhere near.
I think we're about here.
Yes. And just so folks know, the map behind us is the global footprint of where Paysafe operates all over the world. And we're here actually talking to you at a huge, massive conference. It's the International, no, what is it, Rory? It's a long word here.
It's the biggest gaming event.
That's right, International Casinos Exhibition. We like to call it ICE. Not that you're on ice or I'm on ice, but
it is pretty chilly in Barcelona.
I know, it is chilly. It's a little, well, it was dreary yesterday, now it's sunny. But you know what? ICE is a massive global iGaming trade show. It happens each year. It happens to be in Barcelona. Since you're an expert, and that's why I'm talking to you, tell me a little bit about why this show is just so meaningful to the industry. What happens here?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I should call out the Barcelona scarf. I've now, after yesterday's soccer result or football result, I've now changed allegiance from Man United to Barcelona. So there you go.
There you go. Well,
yeah, I mean, ICE is first of all the start of the gaming calendar. This year, hopefully, they brought it forward a little bit, a couple of weeks earlier than when it was in London, but we're straight back into it 2025. Massive event. Everyone's over in Barcelona. Loads of new innovation, and lots to talk about with our customers, lots to talk about with new customers as well. So yeah,
and
we're
who comes
excited.
here? I know, look, we're a payments company, right? So we're partnering with a lot of iGaming companies.
Yeah.
But who else attends the conference? Like, what other types of companies?
It's the full spectrum of gaming. Everything from affiliates, everything through to platforms, payment businesses, to game providers. The full spectrum attend ICE. It's the one-stop shop really for gambling. Somebody can come and pay me for that later. The one-stop shop for gambling.
Right. It's not just online, right? Gambling. You've got all the spectrum.
Retail as well. Yeah, land-based. It's the full shebang.
Many people, even in our company, may not know the scope of your role at Paysafe. Let's talk a little bit about what you do and the cool kind of just world you live in and what you get to do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really fortunate. I've got a brilliant team that I work alongside day in, day out, and they're exceptional. But my role is I look after everything gambling across Europe and the rest of the world. So that's all the new business at Paysafe, and all of our existing clients as well that we look after on a day-to-day basis. So, super excited. And then something that we invested a lot of time and effort in last year was around gambling platform partnerships, and we were super excited to announce a new partnership with Gig. So yeah, we were really excited about that last year, and that's gone from strength to strength, with the first operators going live back part of 2024.
And what do you think the one thing about your job surprises you the most or excites you the most?
Coming from an operator background, I mean, I was an operator for 15 years or more, but coming from the operator background, the brilliant thing about my role is the different kind of silos you get to see. Every hour, every call is something slightly different, and it's a really unique business. We've got a load of brilliant products. We've got a load of brilliant customers as well. So the jurisdictional balance, the balance of different businesses that we work with, both all different sizes, shapes, global footprint, single jurisdiction. You get the full spectrum. So yeah,
and
it's exciting.
Can you think of one time where you were working with a partner and you maybe got to go to like a sporting event or something where you were just like, you never thought that you would be sitting there? Like, can you just give us one instance where, I don't know, it's something really cool experience you had with a partner?
We have so many. I mean, I love sports. Almost all sports I love. I used to love playing, but now spectator more so. But yeah, everything from football to rugby. Really excited for the Lions tour to Australia this year. So, yeah, super excited for that. And then obviously on the US side, NFL coming up. Super excited for that as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool, sports really allows for that intersection for fans to love the sport, but also engage in the game with gambling, like you said. It's
real entertainment.
It
right?
really is. It's like it's that really visceral wow feeling. Like you're not just watching the game, you really are part of the game in a way. And you have to have skill too. You need to put your mind in it a bit so you can enjoy the game, and then maybe get a little skin in the game too.
Yeah, I mean, but also the social aspect of that as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, playing off with friends and family and that sort of stuff, just adding a little bit more to the excitement.
It really adds to the spirit of whatever sport you like. I mean, I like basketball a little more than football because it's a faster game, and I just sit there for 4 hours. I feel like a football has incremental moves down the field.
Are we talking about football or
well,
soccer?
You're right. I should clarify for everyone. I'm talking about American football.
Right. Come on.
You can tell that we have different accents.
We're almost in the home of football in Barcelona, right? So
I probably shouldn't be talking about American football, but it is what it is, Rory. I can't deny that. But so as we talk, let's move a little bit to sportsbooks, because we're a payments company, right? We want to make the experience. It's all about the experience. So in payments, as we know, nobody wants to do anything online or offline and have what we call friction. Right. The card, my payment method doesn't work. Yeah. What do you think can really make or break gameplay, if you will, forgive the pun, for sports books operators when they're dealing with a variety of payment, options and flow? What should they really, what is going to be a make it or break it kind of thing that they need to look for in their payments partner?
Yeah, I mean, the payment mix is so important, and we see consumers now pick particular gaming sites just based on their payment preference alone, right? So if you don't have a particular payment method on your cashier, you're going to lose out on a particular cohort of consumers that want to use that payment method. And we see that with Skrill as a good example. There's a really, really loyal cohort of players there that want to use Skrill day in, day out. And without having Skrill on the cashier, you potentially missing out on those consumers that are really, really loyal to that product and that brand. So super important. I guess the other thing I'd say is, we push really, really hard to remove friction. But what we've started to see, I think, is the reintroduction of some positive friction along the journey, so that you kind of, day in, day out now, we as consumers, everything's so fast paced.
That's right.
I think it's just trying to introduce those kind of checkpoints to say, consciously making decisions along the way, rather than it just being kind of, just subconscious, and you just go through it without really understanding what you're doing.
No, and you bring up an important point, because when if I'm purchasing anything online, I also want to know that the site is legitimate, right? Yeah. They have good fraud protections, good security in place, which brings us to my next question. Because, I'm very skilled at doing this. I try to be anyway. Just kidding, everybody. Don't give me a hard time for saying that. But many people don't know, Paysafe publishes a lot of great research each year. One of the great pieces of research we publish is on the iGaming industry. It's called All the Ways Players Pay. Yeah. And what it does is our research this year had some really great findings. It's a global study. European players are in it. LATAM was in it for the first time, North America. And there's some, I just want to run through some of the top findings and have you kind of talk about it on the back end of the question and what this means, like really trends and for sports books and what they should think about. But what was interesting is that 40% of players, just like you and I talked about, they want instant payouts when they win. So winning is a big deal for people, and they want to be able to move their winnings in and out very quickly. So I thought that was okay, that's a sizable amount of players. And then debit cards still remain the top form of payment, followed by digital wallets. So debit cards, 42% of players really prefer that method, followed by 38% of players prefer digital wallets. And so those remain the top payment methods. And then when it comes to security and privacy, we know that 47% of bettors say, hey, if a sports book, if I think it's not secure, I'm going to cancel I'm not even going to begin the transaction and the journey, right? And then 81% prefer, funny enough, still paying with cash to avoid sharing some personal data. And then finally, I thought this was really interesting that a lot of sports book players really want to have an affinity for the game that they're playing on, so they want to, like, you love soccer, I'm picking up on that a little bit. Or I might, if I love American football,
right.
I should have said now. I know I should have said you like football, I like football, it's a different kind of football. But anyway, I want to know the rules of the game, right? Because I feel like if I'm passionate about the game, I'm going to play a little better, right? I'm playing to win. And we all don't win, but so what do you think this means? What are these trends portend for like sportsbook operators? How should they look at this data?
Yeah, I mean, the first point you raised around instant payouts is absolutely critical for operators. Going back to my time as an operator, players repeatedly come back. The loyalty increases when you give them the cash faster. That's ultimately the crux of it. And we even saw the reduction in responsible gaming usage. Things like self-exclusion was massively reduced when you give players the cash back instantaneously. And I think that kind of forms two conclusions. I think one is that people like getting the cash instantaneously, and rightfully so. When you win, you want to go out and spend the cash, right?
Have a good time.
Yeah, in an online environment, we try and replicate what you get in a betting shop or a racetrack. You get your cash back instantaneously if you win. Online has got to replicate that. So we're getting much closer to that with the introduction of things like Visa Direct, MasterCard Send. Massive improvement in customer satisfaction, that sort of stuff. So, really important that people take that on board.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I mean, it kind of opens my eyes into the industry as well. Really, that players really are driving. I think not only the technology but the success. Right, the winner. Forgive the pun again. The winners and the losers. Really, the sports books that are going to really continue the consumer acquisition journey, right, and get that loyalty. I mean, you really, you got to up your game now, even if you're not in any online industry. I feel like if you're a merchant, small or big, and you're trying to get that consumer pie, right, you better make sure the payment journey is solid.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look back 15 years or so, back when I was a boy in the when I started. I mean, back then it was very much about putting so many roadblocks in place that a player couldn't get the cash out. And the technology wasn't available then to be able to give players the cash instantaneously, sure, but we've really changed our mentality now about giving players the cash back instantaneously. And as a payment business, Paysafe, we really want to support that change in behavior as well. So it's a massive retention tool for businesses to give instant access to cash.
So we're going to wrap up in a little bit, but I just want to ask you one kind of last question, if you will. Well, maybe one more after that. But
Sure.
Latin America is really the next frontier, right? It's so much opportunity in Latin America. I know we have a large presence there. And also Brazil has opened up, and we are beginning to operate in Brazil. But let's talk broadly. Paysafe is. We have a license to operate in Brazil now. But talk broadly beyond, including Brazil, but the whole LATAM region. What does this really mean? Where's the opportunity? Where is it going, the market for iGaming in LATAM?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen regulatory change in that region over the last 12, 18 months with both Brazil and Peru. Big change in regulation, super exciting. We've now got our license in Brazil, so that's something that we're going to be focused on a lot in the next 12 months. So I think what we'll continue to see is maturity in those markets. We'll start to see the consumers becoming more mature, almost more towards where the US or some of the European jurisdictions are today in terms of how players behave, things like the usage of the sports books. Because they're in LATAM today, they're not overly used to extensive sports books like we are in Europe or the US. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. How that changes behaviours.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot of opportunity, I think, in general with payments in Latin America.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean the whole massive business. So super excited to get involved.
Yeah, well, good. Well, last question. What's next for payments and iGaming? Where do you see the next chapter?
Big
What's
question.
the future look like?
Big question. I think we'll continue to see card usage continue to stabilise. I think the usage of digital wallets, though, for me, I think we'll start to see that grow back again. I think people like to segregate their cash from their day-to-day spend to their gambling spend. I think that's, digital wallets a great way of being able to do that, segregate cash. It allows for things like affordability checks, that sort of stuff. It's super helpful. So I think we'll see more usage of wallets around that.
So the future of payments, it's crazy where things are going. But Rory, I ask everybody an out of the blue question. You don't know what I'm going to ask. It causes some people, they get a little concerned, but it always works out in the end because it's fun. So I want to know, when you were a kid, what was your favorite toy to play with? Did you have like a favorite toy or a favorite, I don't know, something you liked to do as a child?
This is really cliche, right? And it sounds a really obvious answer. This is not staged at all. I can tell you.
Yeah.
But I would have absolutely been outside kicking a football or a rugby ball or a cricket ball or a golf club. That's exactly what I would have done.
Really? Even as a little kid?
As a little kid.
No toys.
Running around outside.
No toys, always just the football.
Stereotypical, muddy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you sound like a Brit child.
You've got it.
A Brit boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Running around outside.
I thought you were going to say something like G.I. Joe. I had no idea. I don't even know if that was a toy when you were a kid.
100% sports.
Yeah, or trucks, Matchbox cars.
No PlayStation, no Xbox.
Okay.
Give me a football, give me a rugby ball.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, well, see, you survived the out of the blue question.
Easy. Yeah, it looks so staged, but genuine question.
Well, great. Well, I hope ICE is successful for you and Paysafe for us, the company. It's quite massive. I mean, if for those of you who never attended it, I felt like I was just drowning in a massive amount of not just people, but it's really a great experience to be immersed in. Well, thank you, Rory.
No worries. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
It's been great talking. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, likewise. And well, you know what I always say, guys, tune in next time, because you never know who you're gonna see.